From Studio A at the USC Annenberg School, I'm Ronny Hu. Joining me today is Victor Johansson. He's a Swedish Olympian who competed at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, and he's also an economics major here at USC. But before Olympics happened, the year before that, you experienced a series of medical conditions, including overtraining syndrome, COVID-19, and was even put on the ventilator due to bacterial infection. So, what was going through your mind when you cope with these health issues?
Well, for me, it started already in 2019, even though I didn't know about it. I trained really, really hard for a long period of time without really focusing on my nutrition and my recovery. So, long story short, I overtrained myself. I didn't know about it, and it took about 3 months before I went into the doctor and we got a blood draw. He checked my hormones and everything, and it turned out that my testosterone levels were basically zero. So that was really, really hard because I always believed that I couldn't get overtrained. I was always like a machine in practice. So that was kind of like a reality check, I guess. But at the time, COVID hit, so I couldn't really swim either. I was just focusing on my recovery. I gained some weight, and then all of a sudden I was feeling a lot better again, which was good. I recovered from that. And then after that, it was COVID. I got COVID. And then I had a bacterial infection. I ended up on a ventilator. It was really, really hard. But I don't know. I feel like what these things have in common is that they've put everything in my life in perspective. Like life is not easy, but these hard things that you go through, I feel like they'll help you in the end. Because like the life perspective that I got, being on a ventilator, 21 years old, 22 years old, and almost died. Almost died. So that kind of put life in perspective, and these things on your day-to-day basis that might annoy you, like emptying the dishwasher, or it's raining today or whatever. Like it doesn't really mean anything because you're just so grateful for life and to meet all these people. And yeah, for me, it wasn't that hard to cope with it. It was more, I don't know, realizing that you only get one life and you better make the most out of it.
Yeah, and after that, there was this time when you thought you weren't be going to the Tokyo Olympics, but then a month later, I saw your Instagram. Your coach told you that you were going. So, what was that like?
Yeah, so after the ventilator thing, that was in basically I recovered in January of 2021. I talked with my coach and I was like, I really want to make the Olympic team. It's been a long dream of mine, since I was a kid. And we had 6 months to prepare for my trials where I had to go a specific time to qualify for Tokyo. So I went to my the trials in June. I swam the 800-meter freestyle, which was supposed to be my main event, and I was about half a second short of the qualification time for Tokyo. So in my mind, I was like, oh, I didn't make it. It wasn't supposed to be. I guess I didn't qualify. It was a real shitty 2 weeks or so. I was really not depressed, but just I was just low. I went back home to Sweden. I was ready to go on summer vacation or summer break, and then during nationals, my coach came up to me and he was acting weird. I didn't understand anything, and he was just I think it was a Saturday, and he was like, I want you to come back to training on Monday. And on Monday I was supposed to go on my summer break. And I was like, what do you mean, summer break? I thought you wanted me to take 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks off. And he was like, no, I think it's better if we go back and we start training now, because then you'll have a 3, 4, 5 week what do you say, advantage of everyone else. You'd be training for 5 more weeks than everyone else. And I was just I trust you. If you want me to, I'll come back and I'll train on Monday. And he was like, good, I'll see you on Monday. And then he was just quiet for 5 seconds, and I was like, okay. And then he just dropped a bomb, and he was like, you're going to Tokyo. And I'm like, what? I thought he was messing with me. It was just such a surreal moment. But then my club head coach, basically the head of my club team, he came in and he was like, yeah, the federation coach, she just called and you're on the team, you're going to Tokyo. And I'm like, what? I called my parents because they were the only one who could know. I wasn't allowed to tell anyone because it wasn't official. But I just started crying. I basically just collapsed because it felt like when I didn't qualify, it was like everything that I went through with the ventilator, with the overtraining, with COVID, it was like all that happened for no reason. But then I qualified and it was just like, all right, like I made it. So it was a surreal moment and definitely something I will remember for the rest of my life.
And because of that, you also had your dad to pay for your Olympics tattoo as a deal. So what would be your next deal with him if you get selected to go to Paris Olympics in 2024?
I don't know. I mean, he told me when I was like 14, 15, we were discussing at home like tattoos and stuff, and my parents were never really big on tattoos. But my dad was like, if you qualify for the Olympics, I will pay for your tattoo. And it's been a lifelong, not lifelong, but it's been a dream of mine or a goal of mine for so long. And yeah, I came back from Tokyo. I flew back here to LA, and a week later, I got my tattoo. And it actually has a little bit of like a Japanese like scripture kind of. So I don't know if I qualify for Paris. I don't know if I'm gonna do something else. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I'm sure that if I qualify for Paris, he will definitely pay for that tattoo as well if I add something. But yeah, we'll see.
So you will add a tattoo probably like on the other side, or like what are you gonna do? Just add another word underneath Tokyo, or?
I think. I mean, I can't add like more Olympic rings. So, you can't have two, but like I would probably add something that has to do with, I don't know, Paris or France or something. Because now it basically says it's the Olympic rings, and then it says Tokyo in Japanese. So we'll see. Maybe add something if I make it. We'll see. I kind of like it how it looks now, and I think adding more things to it would just make it look messy. So we'll see. We'll see.
So what about like your life here at USC? I know you're an econ major and this is your senior year. What do you miss the most about Sweden?
Oh wow. I mean, I can't really complain about the weather here because I mean it's amazing, and in Sweden it's really really cold. I mean the summers are beautiful, and luckily I've been able to spend all of my summers in Sweden ever since I come here, or ever since I came here in 2018. But I think it's more like the people that I miss more than the place. I mean, this is, you can walk in a t-shirt and shorts every day, and it's just amazing. While back home, you kind of have to put on clothes, especially at this time of the year. So I think it's more like the people that I miss, my teammates, my coach. Because, like, I'm going to be honest with you, like, when I recovered from the ventilator thing, he was I mean, I would be in the pool 4 to 5 hours a day. So whenever I had these episodes of like the PTSD kicking in from that trauma, whatever you would call it, he was always there for me. So he's kind of like a daddy figure to me too, like a dad figure. Because like all those hard episodes, he was always there. I mean, my family too. Of course, I miss my family like crazy, and my brother. But yeah, more the people than like Sweden, because I'm the kind of guy that could live basically anywhere, and there's something beautiful about every place. So yeah, there's some things, but I'm really happy where I am right now.
So in terms of your economics degree, what do you plan to do with it after graduation?
Wow, that's a good question actually. I don't even know what I'm going to do after I graduate. I mean, I'm graduating now in May. I'm actually going to Alabama for grad school. I'm just trying to, do something completely different. I've been kind of low-key about that. Haven't really told anyone. But after that, I honestly don't know. I was thinking about maybe like investment banking or something, but I've heard that lifestyle is kind of crazy, and people kind of think about investment bankers like they're, I don't know, douchebags kind of, and I'm not really that kind of guy. So we'll see. Definitely something within finance. I'm open to anything, and then just wherever it takes me, I can live anywhere. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, thank you so much, Victor, for joining me today. And from Studio A at the USC Annenberg School, I'm Ronny Hu.